Hey everyone, welcome back to Quick to Recap. Today we're diving into a gritty 2011 action thriller called Blitz. Buckle up. This one's intense from start to finish. We open with Detective Sergeant Tom Brant, passed out on his couch. He wakes up, glances out the window, and spots a couple of punks trying to jack a car. Without hesitation, he storms outside and warns them to back off. They don't. Big mistake. Brandt unleashes a brutal beatdown, leaving them battered and promising that if he ever sees them again, he'll kill them. By morning, the media is running wild with the story, painting Brandt as a thug who assaulted innocent boys. Now the department is under heat, and Brandt's superiors send him to a counselor. But Brandt being Brandt, he's rude, smokes in the office, and even threatens the poor guy before storming out. Next, we meet Constable Elizabeth Falls. She's been deep undercover with drug dealers. So deep she had to start using to keep her cover. Rehab got her clean, but she failed the sergeant's exam and got demoted. Brandt tries to console her, but she's still drowning in disappointment. Meanwhile, Brandt checks in on Chief Inspector Bruce Roberts, who's just lost his wife. Brandt takes him to a bar, buys him a drink, and tries to lift his spirits. Then, tragedy strikes. A female officer is gunned down in the street by a hooded man. With Bruce on leave, the department brings in a temporary replacement, Porter Nash. The squad isn't thrilled. Rumors say Porter's gay, but the brass makes it clear. He's the boss. Surprisingly, Porter's toughest ally turns out to be none other than Brandt, the department's most volatile cop. As the investigation ramps up, Elizabeth gets a visit from a young gang member, Metal, who's worried his crew might have killed someone. She agrees to check into it, but warns him. If the guy's dead, he needs to skip town. If he's alive, he's done with the gang. She pulls Brandt in for help, and he sends her to Detective Inspector Craig Stokes, who agrees, but only if Elizabeth goes on a date with him. Meanwhile, a reporter gets a chilling call from a man named Barry. He claims responsibility for killing the officer and says he's not done yet. Mid-call, Barry murders another cop. He tells the reporter he has 8 more names on his list, then hangs up. Panic sweeps the city. That's when Porter comes to Brandt, trying to size him up. But before they can finish talking, Brandt learns that Porter's been digging into Brandt's file and knows more than most. That's when they hear it. Another cop has been shot. The department goes into overdrive, rounding up every lowlife in the city and pushing their informants to stay sharp. Brandt visits one of his street sources, Radner, who points them toward Barry Weiss, a creep who once bragged about setting a police dog on fire for practice. Tom and Porter head to Barry's place, but find no evidence. When Barry opens the door, he's startled for a second, but quickly masks it. Brandt, however, recognizes him instantly. It's the same guy he smashed in a bar fight a year ago. Brandt mocks him, then leaves with Porter. Barry, realizing he's been clocked, quickly grabs some of his gear and hides it. But Radner tails him and discovers a car filled with grisly trophies, proof Weiss is their cop killer. Meanwhile, Bruce decides he's done drowning in liquor and returns to duty. Unfortunately, Barry has marked him as his next target. He follows Bruce home, knocks on the door, and launches a savage attack. Bruce fights back hard, grabbing a hammer, but Barry disarms him and beats him to death with it. He then coolly watches TV in Bruce's house, steals his uniform, and walks out. Barry calls the same reporter again, proudly revealing Bruce as his third victim and demanding the press start calling him by his chosen nickname, Blitz. Brandt is devastated when he hears the news. Bruce wasn't just a colleague, he was a friend. Meanwhile, Radner, still shadowing Barry, decides to cash in. He calls the reporter, offering the killer's location and evidence for $50,000. They meet in a parking lot where Radner shows him the stash, including Bruce's uniform. The reporter agrees to pay, but Barry has been watching. As soon as they leave, he moves the evidence. Later, Elizabeth learns from Craig that her gang member contact's victim is still alive, and Craig takes the opportunity to angle for a date instead of a deal. At a bar, the reporter pays Radner the $50,000. Radner promises to reveal Blitz's name after a quick trip to the bathroom. Unfortunately for him, Barry is already inside, waiting. The moment Radner sees him, he begs for his life, swearing he hasn't snitched yet. Barry doesn't care, he kills him and takes the cash. The reporter alerts the police to the car, but it's empty. That's when Brandt and his team finally connect the dots. Every Blitz victim so far was a police officer who once arrested Barry Weiss. The deeper they dig, the clearer it gets. Every victim was tied to Barry's past arrests, and the next likely target? Elizabeth. After a night out with Stokes, Elizabeth returns home, only to be ambushed by Barry. Before he can finish the job, Metal jumps in to protect her. The fight turns brutal, and Metal is killed. Barry moves in for the kill again, but sirens close in, forcing him to flee. With the clock ticking, Brandt and Porter release Barry's photo to the press. The manhunt ends in a high-speed chase that finally brings Barry into custody. But with no hard evidence and a stone-cold suspect who doesn't crack under interrogation, the law forces them to let him walk after 48 hours. That's when Brandt and Porter decide to play dirty. Knowing Barry's thirst for revenge, they bait him into striking. The trap is set during Chief Inspector Bruce's funeral. Barry, disguised in Bruce's uniform, shadows Brandt as he leaves the service, unaware that Porter has swapped places with him mid-route. On the rooftop of a parking garage, Brandt steps out from the shadows. Barry barely reacts before Brandt beats him down, strips him of his gun, and lays it out plainly. There will never be enough evidence to convict him in court, but dressed as a cop, holding his own weapon, Barry can be made to look like just another Blitz victim. Brandt pulls the trigger. Barry Weiss, a.k.a. Blitz, is dead. Porter quietly erases the evidence, and the case is closed, unofficially. Before the credits roll, Brandt makes one last stop. He pays a visit to Dunlop, the reporter who's been smearing his name, and sets a pack of police dogs on him, just to send a message. And that's how the Blitz story ends, justice served, but not by the book. If you liked this recap and want more gritty, no-holds-barred thrillers broken down in minutes, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join us next time for another story you won't forget.